All right, we're in Unreal and we're going to build out a master material, and it's going to have some controls for UV tiling, for tint, for things like turning on how metal the object is, maybe turning on and off a emissive component, as well as a normal map and a detail normal map, which is great, as well as controlling the normal intensity. So we've got a set of controls that we are going to build out. In addition, I went into Bridge, and it's really great to take a look at the way that Quixel lays out its master material as well. So I recommend that. So let's get started. So we're gonna Control Shift N, and I'm going to create a master mat demo folder, and we'll right click, create a material, call this m_master1, and open that up. We'll dock this up here, and let's start out by creating the base color. So we can start out by holding down the 3 key and clicking, and this creates a vector 3 constant. And then you can change the color, but this is not a parameter. So in order to talk to your material instance or blueprints, for example, I'll put in links for a quick example that I created for that. You definitely need this to be a parameter. So the hotkey for that is holding down the V key, and we'll call this tint. And we are going to then also hold on the T key and create a texture sampler, but this is not a parameter, and you can convert it to a parameter by right-clicking, diffuse. And we're going to combine these two with a multiply node, so holding down the M key and clicking, and we'll just connect these up. Now I'm going to plug in a diffuse texture, so a good way to quickly search is just using the _D, and it's a good convention to use then. So we can scroll down and pick one that we like. Let's see, I'm going to use the hewn stone, or maybe even the rough cut stone. If we plug this in right now, what are we going to get? Nothing, because if we multiply something that's black, you just get black pixels. So we can start this out white object, just showing off the material. Now we can probably go from here to show off UV tiling. But before we do that, anytime we create an area of control, I like to do two things. I like to comment it. So I'm going to hit C, and we'll call this color. And then also I like to group it so that the color grouping shows up in the material instance. So we can actually just copy that and use that grouping as a name. So now there's a color group, and we can actually just go in here and switch all of these to the color group. So that'll show up in the material instance. Awesome. So now let's do UV tiling. So to create UV tiling, I'm holding down the U key and clicking to create a texture coordinate node. And then we're going to create two scalar parameters, one for U and for V. So I'm going to hold down the S key, and we'll call this one U. And then we can set the tiling. We can start that out at 2. We also even can give it a group name, right? UV. And then we can duplicate that. So Control D, and we're going to want to call this the V. And then we can combine those two. And you need to combine it with an append vector. So just combine that, and then we can just multiply that all together. Now, if we had more time, we could put this into like a material function, but we'll keep this simple. We'll just hit this and call this UV, and we can plug that in. And you can see that it's already tiling our UVs. Awesome. Let's quickly then add a scalar parameter for metal, and also we can duplicate that, and we can do one for rough. We're keeping it very rough because it's rock. And there we go. And now let's move on to our normal map. We can start out by creating another texture node. So holding down T key, right clicking, convert that to a parameter, and just calling this normal. Now we can also create our group. So this is our normal group. And we can find the normal map that's associated with the brick cut stone. So we can just go under here and just scroll down to brick cut stone. There it is. We could plug that in just as is and attach it to the normal map here. That way we are getting the tiling set correctly. But I also mentioned in the intro that I wanted to do a detail normal, and also I wanted to set up a set of controls so that I could modify the intensity of that detail normal too. So let's do that. So we can hit Control D and duplicate this. We can call this normal detail, and we can search for detail because there's actually a built-in normal map that's a detail rocky normal that comes in with the starter content. So we'll just use that. Now the starter content, this is actually a 1K map, and you can even use a lot lower resolution. Now we need to combine these. You might want to combine them with a multiply, but that would be wrong. So don't do that. You want to do a blend angle corrected normals, and that's a function. So these blue nodes, if you click in on them, you'll actually see it's a little bit of some complicated mathematics. But the great thing is that, let's go back to our work in progress here. The great thing is it's not going to destroy your data. We're going to want to set up controls for tiling. So we can do just Control D for that whole process. Let's grab that, and we'll just call this UV tile. So we want to put this in as a U tile and a V tile, or probably detail is better. So why don't I do that on both? And we can fix that here too. Yeah, much better. And then we can take this, and we can even make a group. You can just attach it to the normal group as well, actually, since for this we're keeping this fast demo. So put that, because the UV detail is a normal detail. We'll tie that there, and then we want to be able to control the intensity. Flatness works pretty well too. So I'm going to use flatten normal. So we can plug that in here, and you can do multiple iterations of this if you want. So this is looking for a scalar parameter, so we'll just normal flatness. So we can take that, and we can say we want it to start out really flat, because we want to see the difference. We want to be able to compare the difference, right? So we can plug this in. This is our normal group, and now we can get a little close here. We can take a look at what this looks like just by itself, and then if we say that it's not flat, get a little bit more detail. Now, what if we dial this up to something like 11 each here, right? So now we can go and say, okay, this is what it looks like flattened. And so you can see it's bringing out some nice additional detail. So there's not flattened and also flat. There's ways of increasing the intensity as well. So we could set this at 0.5, 0. So here's not flattened, and the details we could experiment, right? So if we wanted something like a smaller number of iterations, you see a much more sort of gross detail. I would dial it up in terms of, I like my detail normals to really give fine detail, but for this example, let's just keep moving. So the final thing that I wanted to do was to add an emissive mask, and I wanted to set that up so we could use an additional parameter switch node. So we could just show you that that's possible. All right, so let's set that up. I'm going to duplicate this just to, because it's already a parameter. We'll also call this emissive, and we'll go in and we'll look for a _M, and that's a mask node. We've got some different choices here. I'm just going to pick this one, the chair, and this is a texture packed texture. So what does that mean? It means that there's a different grayscale texture mask in the R, the G, and the B channels. So we could just check that out and plug that in and see what we get shining through. So now how would we give that a color? Well, we could do the same thing and just duplicate a tint, and we could call this like emissive tint, and we could multiply these together. Grabbed the G channel, right? So there we are, the emissive tint. Now if we wanted that to be like just red, then we could do that. But one of the things you can do also is overdrive to get a really strong glow. So we can like go over 1, just make that really glowy. Now I also said that I wanted to add a parameter static switch. Now this is sort of an on-off switch, and you can then specify that if this switch is set to true, then it will be on, and then we can set we can just do a 0 into false. So right now and by default it's off. If it's a static parameter, then you cannot control it with blueprints. So it's either on or off, but you can control it here for sure. So it makes an easy way to turn it on and off. And then you can also then control the tint color still. The thing we didn't do yet is we didn't create an emissive group. So we'll do that, and we'll put that in the emissive here. We can even put this in the emissive group too. All right, let's hit C and call that emissive. All right, it's a start for a master material. So we can hit apply, and now we can create our material instances and apply that to some of these blocks around here. And then we can create another instance of it. So how do you do that? You right click, create a material instance, and call this, it starts out MI and then instance, and then you can just add that to an object. And from there you can open it up and you can specify like how many UV tiles you want. Do 4 and 4. And we could also change the tint and make it a little bit more red if we wanted, just a little bit more. Awesome. And then, right, like we said, we could turn off the emissive if we wanted, or keep that on, or change the color, or switch out the normals. And so that's really wonderful, right? So, and it's also very low cost if you're going to do iterations on this. So we can create another, and we can do metal, and then this metal one we could then drag on here, and we could then go in and specify something like, hey, this is like metallic rock, and we can also then change the roughness as well. So very sparkly. Change out the normal map as well. We could make this into something like, I think they have a steel, yeah, they have a steel texture, so we'd probably want to dial in this for steel, the normal. And let's see how that's looking. All right, we've got the basics here. Got a set of controls, set of material instances. So this is a really great start, and a really great way to allow yourself to have a set of controls that you can control with blueprints, and then you can also do a lot of extra things with this. And so I'll put a lot of additional links to ways of doing this with blueprints, and also how can you control this also in the sequencer. You have to use a material parameter collection, but that's more for later. All right, thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like, and also come back for more Unreal tutorials.